Hey, how are you?
Hi, great. It's so nice getting to speak with you.
This is lovely. This is
Um,
great.
yeah, if you're ready, I've got a couple of questions here that I would
Mm.
just love, dying to know. One of these things that I really enjoyed in season three is watching the progression between Alyn of Hull and his father, Corlys Velaryon.
Mm.
In season two, we see a little bit of maybe outright contempt from Alyn, and things start to slowly shift in season three. Now, there's one moment that I feel like really affected your character, which was watching his father, who's almost this sailor of legendary status, just pull off this insane maneuver in the
Mm.
gullet, just a sheer, strength of, seafaring ways and all of that. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask how you think your character saw that in that moment and how it affected him.
Yeah, I think, I think Alan is the type of person who doesn't necessarily get impressed by sort of materialistic things or titles or, any of the stuff that uh it doesn't help the world, or that doesn't help people in a way. So then
Yeah.
seeing Corlys navigate that sort of the dragon's teeth and do it so well with with just everything. I think that to me is like where Alan's kind of really sees like, yep, that's fantastic. That's really cool. That's awesome. That's amazing. So I think it was more so a respect for the fact that Corlys is a person who earned his title and earned his place because of the work that he's done, rather than necessarily someone who was just given it. And I think like that
Yeah.
was why for Alan it was like, yep, that's really cool. That's my dad. So
Yeah. Yeah, because it's almost, like bringing Alan into the fold, sure, that means something, but
mhm,
watching, he's of the sea. Alan is of the sea, and watching
yeah,
that, I felt like just really solidified a lot of respect. Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
th there's another moment that I wanted to talk about in season two, and it's very brief, but I found it one of these almost very tender moments that don't so often happen in House of the Dragon.
Mm,
And it is between Princess Rhaenys and Alan. And it
yeah.
might have been kind of uncomfortable for your character, but she kind
Mm,
of touches his cheek and she says to Corlys, you should elevate this man for, what he's done.
mm,
And, unfortunately, Rhaenys isn't around, but after everything that transpires
mm.
in season three, I'm really curious what you think a conversation would look like between these two characters after everything's gone down.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've thought that before as well. I think the conversation would be one of a sense of, I think there would be a connection with these two people in regards to not feeling seen, or not feeling
Mhm.
not necessarily respected. I think it's just about not being seen, because Rhaenys obviously has her history with her family and where she is, and what that represents. And then obviously Alan has his relationship with Corlys and not feeling seen there. And I think even though they wouldn't necessarily directly talk about that, I think there would be an a kinship to a degree about that would allow conversation to be easier, even though there is the fear, obviously, of title and what each person represents, and of that ilk. The Rhaenys strikes me as someone who, because of how she has been treated by uh, royalty, and by the sense of title, it doesn't really matter as long as you're connecting on a human level. And that's what I find so beautiful about Corlys's relationship with Rhaenys anyway in the show.
Mm.
As a viewer, they talk to each other like equals, like husband and wife,
Yeah.
like actual partners, rather than they are there for power play. I think that's what's really beautiful about it, and what's really strong about that relationship, and what's so heartbreaking when they do end up, when
Yeah.
it doesn't go the way it should. So yeah, I feel like the conversation, even though it might not necessarily be progressive or kind of as open as she would be, obviously with Corlys or whatever, I do think that there would be a lot more of a natural connection rather than necessarily it being so alien with one another.
Yeah, they're a great combo. It was really hard watching that one small moment happen, then it's like so brief, so fleeting, and then
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very last question that I had here. I absolutely loved watching you as father on Raised by Wolves. And
Thank you.
this is obviously very different types of characters, Alan and father. And I kind of wanted to ask how things were different for you on House of the Dragon as something like as opposed to Raised by Wolves. And sneaky second question, do you think we'll ever get a season 3 of that?
So I'll answer the difference. It was definitely
Yeah.
the costume. The costume was a big difference. I
Yeah.
think from latex suit to actually
hmm
wearing clothes is a huge, massive difference. I'd say character-wise, again, there was something really charming and loving about playing father because of this sort of naivety and sort of again, sense of just discovering the world almost anew for the first time as this AI android. Um,
Yeah.
whereas with Alan, there is a level of battle-hardened sort of jadedness that he carries with him, and so it's been really wonderful that I've been lucky to play such different characters in such different worlds, and kind of
Yeah.
explore and expand that. It's even people today are still sort of shocked at the fact that oh wait, Alan was father and raised by wolves. That like when did that like when did that sort of happen? So that's been really cool. But I'd say in regards to your sneaky second question there, I would love it. I think that it's
Yeah.
definitely gone past its time. I think like in the sense of I think if we were to see any sort of continuation, it would need to be either animated or in another medium. Just because I
Yeah.
think it's one of those ones where, you know, the time has passed, everything has kind of gone for done its own thing. But yeah, I would love it because I know that the team had such an idea and vision of where they wanted to take the world. So, and the fans obviously loved it. And I think like it is,
It was great.
I'm such a sucker for like finishing stories, and that's why I'm really happy being part of this show because you know at
Yeah.
least you know like we're gonna get a finished story and we're gonna see the end of it. Or whereas I feel like with Raised by Wolves, it was kind of cut short, and I'm like, come on, man, tell me what happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Same. I just wanted to thank you so much for your time. This is really great. And I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you, and I hope you do too.
It's really great getting to speak with you. I wanted to talk about something that happened in season 1 and how this kind of progresses. But in the first season, we see that your dragon, Seasmoke, belonged to another person who is also Corlys' son,
Yes.
Laenor. But we saw that he, in fact, did not die. He fled Westeros and went somewhere else.
Yes.
Now, the fandom is pretty well known for their theories, and I would like to present some of them to you and see if there are any that you like,
Of course.
or maybe if you had your own.
Gotcha.
First theory here is that Laenor is alive,
Okay.
but the dragon bond is something almost like a Bluetooth signal. So when he went
Gotcha.
out of range, Seasmoke saw you and was like, okay, I'm pairing to this.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
How do you feel about that one?
I I plead the fifth. No,
No.
I it's quite interesting because dragons are quite sentient beings. So I feel
hmm
like if they know, I feel like their Bluetooth range covers the whole world. So I like, and they can fly
Okay.
anywhere as well. So
Yeah.
I feel like if they know that their rider is somewhere in the little pockets of the world or an obscure location, they're so smart. I feel like they just fly to that person, do you know? But then
Okay.
again, you don't want Laenor to die as well, though, because I love Laenor. So I don't. Do you know what? I'll go with the first one. I'll say yes. Laenor is alive and it's more of a Bluetooth. But then what happens if, Laenor and Adam are like in the same spot? Oh my God, that's such a great question. How does he choose?
Who does he choose?
Exactly, exactly. It's like, have you ever seen those videos on social media of like the
Mhm.
mom and the dad put the baby in between to see who they run to?
Yes,
I feel
yes.
like that's how I feel like it would be between me and Laenor for Seasmoke.
Okay, that's great. So we're gonna hold out hope. Laenor's alive out there somewhere in the
Exactly,
world.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, the last question that I wanted to ask you is Addam of Hull strikes me as one of the most genuinely loyal characters in House of the Dragon. And I wanted to ask you what you think it is about this character that just makes him so ride or die for the cause.
For Adam, he is very loyal at his core because he's not known anything else. His whole
Yeah.
life, the only person he's had is his brother, and that's who he's been loyal to up until this moment. So that essentially that's the makeup of who Adam is. He's been so loyal to Alan, because Alan is all he's ever had. He's always wanted, the recognition from his father, Corlys, but he's never had that. So he's only had Alan. So now that he's developed that level of loyalty to Alan, he then sort of extrapolates that and puts that with whoever he encounters, i.e. Rhaenyra and Team Black. So he is just ride or die for the side that he's with because he always just wanted to be a part of a family. And the only family he ever has known has been Alan, but now his new family includes his father Corlys and Rhaenyra and Daemon. So he will extrapolate that loyalty from Alan to his now extended family, which is Team Black, the Targaryen. So yeah.
It's really beautiful. I just wanted to thank you for your time. This was
Thank
really
you for your
nice. And
time,
thank you so
Amber. Thank you
much.
so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.